Greetings everyone, Corky here, and welcome to the year 1950, to what is a terrible decision that will end in many crashes. This is the 1952 Ferrari F1 car, which looks miles different to the normal Ferrari F1 car that we are so used to in modern day. There is no wing, there is no diffuser, there is no aero at all. What we have here is essentially a bathtub with bicycle wheels and an engine strapped to it. Rather fittingly, you join me at Monza, the Italian Temple of Speed and of course the home race of Ferrari. You join me with a bunch of other Ferraris. We're going to do some racing here, and yes, this is the old Monza, which means there's going to be a little surprise towards the end of the lap. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you're going to know in a few minutes. We have a 4-speed manual transmission, fully on the throttle, and into first. We're just gonna relax. We don't want to get ahead of too much of the field here. Why is this guy parked sideways? We may never know. That aside, wow, okay, this is a peak start from the AI. I am very confused as to why they are doing this. And we are now in 8th place. That's into 2nd gear now. This car only has 4 gears, doesn't have a huge amount of power, but also has no handling, no downforce, no nothing, which makes it incredibly difficult to drive. We are using our manual H-pattern shifter here, which of course you will have seen in my latest video. Back into 3rd for this corner, not feeling particularly brave through there. This car actually oversteers quite a lot on corner exit and on power, despite not actually having a lot of horses under the hood. This is simply because, well, the handling is so poor as well. Look how thin and grooved these tires are. It does not get much worse than that. Waiting in 2nd gear to unleash it. And into 3rd. We are currently 3 seconds behind Alex Senna. Let's see how this goes. Can't say I was particularly familiar with 1950s F1, given that I was not alive and have never watched any of it. But I do think it is really cool to see these really old F1 cars. We are definitely making up some time on Alex Senna. We are now 1.5 seconds behind him. And now it's time for one of the hardest corners on this course. I am not feeling very confident into here. We're going to go into 3rd gear. Probably could have broken way earlier than that, but such is life. Slowing down a lot for this corner, but so is Alex ahead. And we're just going to be nice and slow and gentle on the throttle, still managing to oversteer there, because this car is textbook definition Larry. And now, you might be thinking, is that the end of the lap? Because you see the front straight, but no, instead we are split on the front straight by a line of hay bales, the peak safety innovation of the time. And as we head up into 4th gear, something turns into our view. You may notice a banked section, because yes, old Monza had that. Very violent on the wheel, very violent on the force feedback. No matter how much I turn it down, it's still incredibly shaky. And we are catching up to Alex on probably one of the worst places to do it, which is of course the banking. I don't know where I'm going to go here to try and overtake him, and I end up hitting the back of him instead, and that man is dead, just fully. He's gone. That man isn't alive anymore. Good lord. We now have this guy in front of me. Don't know his name, don't know whatever, but we have a second banking to get through because it is essentially an oval circuit. This portion of Monza can be used as an oval. Oh, my wheel is gonna like shake itself off the desk. It's just so violent. This is not a smooth oval by any means. Let's see if we can get him around the outside. Yes, we can. Oh, that's full send. That car was just fully sliding all over the place. But we fully kept our foot in it, and we're up into P6 from that move. Banging against 4th gear, nowhere to go, that we don't have a 5th. We can't really go up, so we just slam against the limiter at about 240 kilometers an hour. We're going to start braking for this corner somewhere around here. I don't really have a good braking reference for it, but I just like to brake early as to not completely die. This car can handle some oversteer, kind of just slip angling through the corner. But generally speaking, you don't want to add too much, otherwise you go off track like I just did. And now we're going to start braking. Again, down into 3rd, down into 2nd, and then just put it through. There's no need to get anything fancy with the driving techniques. There's no need to be really incredibly precise with any of it. And we are making a run on Michael here. He has no last name. He is just Michael. These cars are so leery that it's hard to go side by side because they're just all over the track at all times, but we might be able to get past them, and indeed we do. And then it's into fourth. There we go. And now, again, scariest corner on the circuit. Now, even worse, because of this number 6 car beside me. I get past him pretty easily. He's had a pretty poor run, if I'm honest. Now, into third, down the inside. We make contact. Oh, God. That's going to be back into 5th place. Potentially back down to 6th. Just a complete mess. But it is going to be back onto the oval, which means chances will make themselves clear for overtaking. My pedal set is moving underneath my feet, which is not good. I'm going to hunt Michael down. I'm hoping to catch him at the end of the oval on the exit, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I'm actually lifting off the throttle a little bit here just to make sure we don't catch him until the right time. Heading down his inside now. That might be a done move, and indeed it is. Reaching for my shifter as if I can do anything. We are going to go up his inside, though. That's a nice clean move before any of the banked section, which is always a relief. Currently sitting on lap 2, coming to the end of lap 2, I believe. Which means it will be onto lap 3, a little bit past halfway through the race. And we are about to make it up into 4th if we can cleanly get past the number 6 car of Enzo, and indeed we can. And now it is focusing on Rudolph ahead. We're actually into 3rd according to my relative. I'm not entirely sure. Potentially some cars in the pits. The means for precision in these cars is not much. You have no assists, no downforce, no nothing. I feel like a lot of these races, although I'm not fully familiar, are going to be a lot more, you know, based on just surviving. These races of the era. We do have a pretty fast Sector 1, which is nice. Again, just sliding all over the shop. We have Rudolph and Yao Pereira. I can't pronounce his last name. Pereira. Yep, that's it. That's correct. Down to 3rd. We're braking nice and early for this because I am a coward. Someone's locked their brakes in front of me. We make it cleanly through this corner. A lot of skid marks where previous incidents have happened. Most of them involving me. Now we're right on the back of, I believe, Rudolph. There is some lapped traffic ahead. I'm not sure how that's happened. Probably just cars off track. And now we are making our way, almost with a little bit of contact, past Rudolph. Don't squeeze me to the inside. He doesn't. He gives me the space, and that's up into 1st. And that means our number 1 itinerary now on these last 2 laps, after we make it past the banking, is to just survive. That's really harder said than done. This is essentially a very flammable soapbox. And now it is back onto the main straight at Monza. This is the penultimate lap. I don't think anyone's going to be making up any time on me, lest I completely screw up. That's the fastest lap of the session, a 3-minute 08. What an incredible handful to drive. Just completely ridiculous with how difficult it is. And, you know, it's not horrible. It slides around pretty naturally and chill. It's not, you know, snap oversteer at the very least. But actually, you know what? It's not horrible to hot lap, is what I've found. But racing it is so hard because it slides so much. It's very hard to predict where the car is going to be, both with you and your opponent. And so being side by side and doing close racing is a hell of a challenge. Speaking of challenges, someone up ahead seems to have had a horrible challenge. I'm going to follow them. Oh, and that's going to be fully into the ditch with me. We're going to have to get into reverse gear, assuming we have one. Yeah, we do. I don't know why I thought we wouldn't have a reverse gear. That'd be insanity. And that's down to 6th place behind Marcus Acosta. Josh Brooks is even looking behind me. He might get it with all this oversteer I'm getting because of our dirty tires. We're going to block him off. He's not going to be able to make that stick because he's just kind of weaving all over the place, losing his traction. Unfortunately, our objective of survive has not worked out particularly well. We're still in 6th place, but really pretty disastrous under that braking zone. That's the hardest corner in the track. It's a very long braking zone, and it's kind of... there's no braking markers from what I can tell. I very much struggle to get it right. And also, I'm left foot braking. Sorry, right foot braking. which makes, of course, the brake pressure more difficult to apply. Getting up on the behind of Marcos Acosta. I don't want to have to overtake him in the middle of the banking. We should be fine to get past him here. We're going to give him lots of berth before cutting back in front of him for the second part of the oval. We round the final corner, and now we're going to be coming on to our last lap. A top 5 is great, but a top 3, a podium, would be far more appreciated. We'll see what we can do, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. Into third gear now. I probably broke a little bit too early through there, if I'm honest. Did not need to scrub off quite as much speed as I did. But there you go. Rounding this corner, it'll be up into fourth momentarily. There you go. This is my favorite 2 corners on the track, mostly because I find them pretty easy, but also because they're satisfying. Brake around where you see the rest of the brake marks. Down to third. Down to second. Chuck it into the corner. We're going to be on the back of Michael through here. Got to be really relaxed on the throttle. Into third. You could take this corner in second, but I don't need any of the oversteer on exit. And I'm getting a better exit than Michael. We're going to be right on his rear bumper. We're going to be looking around the outside, going onto the grass, in fact, but we do make it around him. Didn't need to go on the grass there, but I got a little spooked, and once this car gets away from you, it's basically gone. And now, that podium position is currently held by Enzo, 6 seconds ahead. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but a man can dream. We're going to be looking at around here for braking. Not because it's where you should brake, but it's only because where I am comfortable braking. There's smoke in the distance. Someone's gone off at least a little bit. Sorry, not smoke. Dirt. Dust. Kicked up by a wheel. Dipped off the tarmac. I don't know who it was, but Enzo is now still 6 seconds ahead, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't him. We still have a chance through the banking, but it's a very, very, very small one. There's nothing we can do more except hope, because there's nothing we can do except keep it flat through the banking. We're making up time on him. We're making up serious time on Enzo. That's a full second gained already through just the banking alone, the first one. That'll be almost 2 seconds gained, but at this rate, we will not make it. There's a little bit of scuffling going up ahead, though, with cars side by side, which will do us some favors. And this may actually happen. Do we want to join the fray? We've got cars side by side on the banking. I'm not sure we're going to make it. I don't think we are. We're 3 seconds behind. That's too much of a gap, as much as we'd like to, unless they make contact, which they may. And no, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm saying this, unfortunately they've kept it clean, and so it means the podium is just within arm's reach, but not quite there. And we finish in a fun but disappointing 4th position. 16 positions gained from our original place on the field, mostly due to the insane start we had, but we'll call it good racecraft. I hope you all greatly enjoyed. Corky, out.